Justin Marshall, 81 Test veteran of the All Blacks, joins us again. And Justin, I got to say, mate, those two games on Saturday, absolutely brilliant. 26,000 at Eden Park, 20,000 where you were in Dunedin.
Good afternoon to you, Marty. Yes, and absolutely, you're bang on. Look, to see the quality of rugby, obviously two games that had interest for different reasons. One of them, top of the table clash between the Canes and the Blues at Eden Park. What a great turnout, afternoon rugby, a real spectacle. So it was probably a bit of a setup, to be perfectly honest, when you led into the big Southern Derby with two teams that are at the opposite end of the table trying to fight their way into the top eight because of the quality of that game. But man, those two teams didn't back off. They delivered a really high-quality performance as well, entertainment, drama, and the same type of physicality, some sensational skill sets as well. So we were really treated Saturday night, to be fair to say.
Yeah, look, I want to get on to that Highlanders-Crusaders game, and I loved your post-match interview with Rob Penny, man. I mean, those pictures of him in the box, he looks like a lonely man at the moment, doesn't he? But let's just talk first about the Blues. Was that physical enough from them to convince you that they are the team to beat?
Yeah, I was actually just watching their method, so I thought they started the game really well. Obviously, the Hurricanes, being the team that they are this year, they're never going to go away, and they kept in the contest, and they produced some high-quality rugby, some great skills, and they showed some muscle as well throughout that game. But I think probably apart from Harry Plummer, the real difference was the ability, once they got into the 22, of that big Blues forward pack. And it's not only them that carry, Marty. Like, you get Bryce Heem coming in, he wants to carry. Caleb Clark comes in.
Yeah, he was doing great work.
You get that enigma of Mark Talia coming in. He's picking and going and using footwork. So it's a combination of brute force. But once they get into that zone, they just get players. If their carry and then their clean is so good, they just carry clean. And I was actually watching that game thinking, man, there's nothing too overly complicated about it, but they're very good at it, and it's really hard to get the ball off them. So, yeah, a lot convinced me that they are a very well-drilled side, and they are big and tough up front, and equally they have plenty of players in the back line that want to stand up and are quite happy to do the grunt work as well.
See, there's the key to it right there. They're looking for work, aren't they? They want work. They're looking for work. This is more cohesive than I've seen them, and this is why I keep asking you this question every week, because we're all wanting to know, can they reproduce this in the playoffs? But they are a different team under Vern Cotter.
Yeah, they are. And absolutely, I believe they have better strategy now. I think they know their DNA a lot better of where their strengths are. Look, they still showed some vulnerability by leaking points, and that will encourage the rest of the competition. They equally had a real battle on their hands, didn't they, against the Reds a couple of weeks ago. So, they certainly have showed that they can have points put on them, but they just now still seem to have had this real resilience and fight in them, that even though teams put points on them, they don't let the game, like they used to do in the past, slip away from them. They're prepared to work hard, roll up their sleeves and get stuck back in and get those points back. So, yeah, I feel they're the real deal. Under Vern Cotter, he's just installed a real attitude about them, and equally you can just see that they're very assured of where their strengths are, and when they need to, they just go to them, and they can really be efficient in that area.
Yeah, look, this was, you got to remember who they're playing against, and so it's not just any old mug bunch, is it? I mean, this is the Hurricanes who came to play. I just thought, look, it's a brilliant game to watch, and then I'm going to get on to the Black Ferns in a second, but then, of course, you go down to Dunedin and the Highlanders and the Crusaders, and just that history for a start for the Highlanders, mate, where they haven't beaten a New Zealand team for 19 games. They also can just about cement their place in the playoffs and just about kill the Crusaders season. So there's a hell of a lot riding on this. And one name that I wrote down was Cameron Miller. Do you know what I love, Marshy? I just love the fact that they were kicking their goddamn points, mate, because that's how you win rugby games.
Yeah, you do. And good on you, mate, because you actually recognise probably one of the players that was a difference maker on the night. The fact that he, when he needed to, stepped up, he hit the clutch kicks under pressure, didn't seem like he was fazed by the enormity of the situation at any stage. He just got on with his method and did the job really well. Equally, I thought him and Fakatava controlled the game plan really, really well throughout the 80 minutes. And the thing is, it's always easy to look at the offensive work. So, yeah, he kicked well. Yes, he was running when he needed to, passed when he needed to, managed the game really well. But he's pretty tough on defence as well. The Crusaders threw some pretty heavy traffic down his channel, but he's quite prepared to get his shoulders on and put players to the ground. So a really good performance, and singling him out, I don't disagree with you at all, because I thought he was one of the players that helped the Highlanders massively to win that game.
A couple of things I loved about it in the post-match, and normally, I don't hang around for the post-match, but I love listening to Ethan de Groot, because he says what I want him to say, mate. He just says there's nothing complicated. We just like hitting rucks. We just like smashing into people. That's the Highlanders rugby. I like that. And then, of course, your interview with Rob Penny afterwards. And I just saw that just a lot of compassion shown there as well, and a lot of care, and you could tell that he was responding to you too. And for him to apologise, Justin, to you on behalf of the team and to the Crusaders fans, I thought, yeah, dude, you don't need to do that, man. Look, let's not forget what this is. This is a game of rugby at the end of the day, right? But I really felt for him in that moment.
Yeah, so do I. Just quickly, I agree with you on Ethan de Groot. He's just going to say what he's thinking, which is good. And, I know that sounds bizarre, but sometimes players are thinking one thing, but to be politically correct, they say another, just to make sure they don't get themselves in the crap. But, they stick that cap on him, which looks like putting a peanut on an elephant, to be perfectly honest. And away
See, I was wondering whether anyone noticed that as well. I was thinking, is that the littlest one they've got? Is that the smallest cap in the whole? Yeah,
I think it is. Yeah. I think it is. It's stretched to the max. But, moving on to Rob Penny, look, I saw those shots of him after the game, which we managed to get in the coaching box, where he was on his own. Everybody else had left the box, and you could just see that look of, I guess, not resignation, but just that pain, that real pain and hurt, and the fact that he, and I think I alluded to that when I asked him the question. I said, I feel like when I spoke to you pre-game, you'd done your homework, and your coaching group had done it, and you told me the areas they were strong and they would test you. So obviously the players knew that, but yet they still opened you up in those areas. So you're obviously doing your work, and it's the players that on the field are, with their own discipline and not being aware, are still conceding line breaks and everything in that zone. So I said to him, look, mate, what you said to me means that you are doing your job and doing your homework. And, we have to feel for you, because everybody is putting the pressure on you and saying it's your fault. And you can see the hurt in your face, and you can see that you are trying hard and the boys are trying hard. And I just wanted to say, I think you're a great man. You're a good coach. And at the moment, you're just with a team in a situation that's really difficult to control. And you can see that you actually care and give a shit. And that to me means a lot. It really means a lot. And you can see that he does. And to apologise, I think probably was a slightly hard thing for him to do, but he doesn't need to do that, because I think everybody up there can see that they're trying hard and they're bleeding for that jersey, but at the moment they're just not able to get their mojo together and get the results they're after.
Is that their season, Justin?
No, I don't believe it is. I still feel with the firepower they've got, look, when you're in the hole, things just never go your way, do they? To lose Scott Barrett and in the warm-up or just before the game and having him pull out, and then lose both your centres, which means you have to have wingers playing in the midfield. When things go wrong, they just go really wrong, don't they? And that didn't help them in the second half when they're looking to have a fight back. But, hey, I've worn that jersey. Never offer up excuses, so I'm not offering those as an excuse, but I still feel the calibre of player they've got, they can beat anyone in this comp. They just need to get a couple of lucky breaks, a bounce of the ball, a little bit of momentum going their way, and they can win 3 on the bounce to scrape into the 8. I believe that.